Good morning, dear students. Now we are studying the chapter 4, types of tissue. So different types of tissue that we studied in the previous lectures. So the types of tissue that makes the multicellular plant body, that has been divided into the two main types, that is the meristematic tissue and permanent tissue. So we finished the meristematic tissue, that is the different types of meristem: apical, lateral, intercalary meristem, simple meristem, primary meristem, secondary meristem, that we studied in the previous lecture. Next to this we studied the permanent tissue. So different permanent tissue that has been divided into two types: simple tissue and complex tissue. So simple tissue like parenchyma, collenchyma, chlorenchyma and sclerenchyma, that we also seen in the previous lectures. Now from this lecture we are going to study the complex tissue. Okay, so complex tissue that has been made by more than one type of cells, and these cells makes the complexity of the multicellular organisms. So these tissues we referred it as complex tissue. So here one by one we are going to study the different types of complex tissue. The complex tissues that are found in the plant, they are also called as vascular tissue, because they are found in the vascular bundle. They form a conducting system in the plant, both water conducting and food conducting system in the plant. They are also called as conducting tissue or vascular tissue. So here we are dealing with the complex tissues or vascular tissues. Presence of vascular tissue is a characteristic of the higher cryptograms, that is pteridophytes, and all groups of spermatophytes, means angiosperm and gymnosperm. So vascular tissues that are present in the higher cryptograms, for example pteridophytes, as well as in the angiosperm and gymnosperms. It is mainly composed of complex tissues known as conducting tissues, because this tissue perform the function of conduction of water and food material. So these tissues are also known as conducting tissues. A region of the plant organ possessing a conducting tissue is known as conducting strand or vascular strand. So these tissues are present in the plant organ. So this region where these vascular tissues or conducting tissues are present, the region is called as conducting strand or vascular strand. It exists in the form of steel or vascular bundles. It is mainly composed of xylem and phloem. So xylem and phloem are the complex tissues or vascular tissues. So the vascular tissues are found in the pteridophytes, angiosperm and gymnosperm. It is mainly composed of the complex tissues, so known as the conducting tissue. So a region of the plant organ in which such conducting tissues, that is xylem and phloem, are present, this region is called as conducting strand or vascular strand, and it exists in the form of steel or vascular bundles. So the vascular tissue or a complex tissue, it is mainly composed of xylem and phloem. Okay, so the first one, that is the xylem. So xylem is a complex tissue which is made up of four types of cells. These are tracheids, vessels, xylem sclerenchyma and xylem parenchyma. As you know that a tissue is a group of the cells having the same origin and perform the identical function, that we call it as a tissue. So xylem is a tissue which is made up of tracheids, vessels, xylem sclerenchyma and xylem parenchyma. These cells of the xylem perform the similar function, that is the conduction of water. It is present in the vascular bundle or a region where the complex tissues are present that possessing a conducting tissue. It is known as the vascular strand or conducting strand. So this exists in the form of steel or vascular bundle. So this is the first complex tissue, that is the xylem. Next to this is the another one, that is phloem. So phloem, it is again made up of sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. So these are the cells which makes the phloem tissue. Which are these? Sieve tubes, companion cells phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. So one by one we are going to study the two types of these complex tissue, that is the xylem and phloem, and also the individual cells that makes this complex tissue, that is xylem and phloem. So xylem is made up of tracheids, vessels, xylem sclerenchyma, this is also called as xylem fibers, xylem parenchyma, then phloem, which is made up of sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers or phloem sclerenchyma and phloem parenchyma. Okay, so this is about the complex tissues. So two types of complex tissue, xylem and phloem, and the cells which makes the xylem and phloem. Okay, now one by one we are going to study these complex tissues. So the first one, that is the xylem. So here we are going to study the structure of the xylem. As you know that the xylem has been made up of four types of cells, that is vessels, tracheids, xylem sclerenchyma and xylem parenchyma. Okay, so xylem, it is a complex tissue. Most of its components are lignified and dead. Most of its components means its xylem sclerenchyma, tracheids and vessels, these are lignified and dead, while only xylem parenchyma is the living component of the xylem. Xylem consists of the components such as xylem parenchyma, xylem sclerenchyma, tracheids and vessels. Okay, one by one we are going to study the components of the xylem. Do you get it? Xylem is a complex tissue. It is made up of four different types of components. Its components are lignified and dead. Only xylem parenchyma is the living component, while the rest of the component of the xylem are dead, and it consists of xylem parenchyma, xylem sclerenchyma, tracheids and vessels. So first we are going to study the xylem parenchyma. It is a living component of the vascular bundle. Cells are thin-walled. One can say if the cells are lignified, then the cell-to-cell contact has been break because of the deposition of the lignin. So under such condition, after maturity, the cells become dead. Here xylem parenchyma is the only living component of the xylem because its cells are thin-walled, means a contact between cell to cell or the adjacent cell, it is going on. So these cells are the living cells. The cell wall is not lignified, it is thin-walled. So it is a living component of the vascular bundle and cells are thin-walled. So here in this diagram we can see the xylem parenchyma. So this is the xylem parenchyma, which is a living component or the living cells of the xylem. Next to this is the xylem sclerenchyma. It is also called as xylem fibers or wood fibers. So these are sclerenchyma cells in xylem. As you know, the structure of the sclerenchyma, which is made up of fibers and sclerides, that we also seen in the previous lecture. So these are sclerenchyma cells in the xylem, and cells are thick walled and elongated. So if you see the diagram of this sclerenchyma, so these are the xylem, these are the fibers. So these most of the xylem sclerenchyma possesses the fiber. So it is also called as xylem fibers or wood fiber because the wood portion of the stem that has been made up of the xylem, and such sclerenchyma has been present in the xylem in the wood. So it is also called as wood fibers. So here these are the sclerenchyma cells in the xylem, and cells are thick walled and elongated. So these are xylem fibers, or it is also called as xylem sclerenchyma or wood fibers. Next to this is the third one component, tracheids. These are true cells with intact cross walls. These are lignified and dead cells. The fundamental cell type in the xylem is the tracheid, or one can say that the xylem is most portion of the xylem that has been made up of the tracheids. These are the true cells with intact cross walls. These cells are lignified and dead cells. Okay, the tracheid is an elongated cell with a tapering end. Here we can see these are the elongated cells, and its end it is tapering ends. which when mature is non-living, that is without protoplast. The walls are hard but not thick and are usually lignified. Here their wall is lignified. So as I told you that when the cell wall is lignified, the cell at maturity becomes dead. It is without protoplast. Its cell wall, it is not hard, but it is hard but not thick and usually lignified. In the cross section, tracheids are typically angular, through more or less rounded forms are also occurs. So in a cross section, if you see the tracheids which are typically angular, though more or less rounded forms are also occurs, the smallest tracheids form protoxylem and the bigger one form metaxylem. So these are the xylem, protoxylem and metaxylem. The relative position of the protoxylem and metaxylem, that makes one of the characteristic of the xylem, whether it is a endarch or exarch. So the smallest tracheids, it forms the protoxylem and the bigger one form metaxylem. Tracheids are variously thickened for mechanical strength and for conduction of water from one tracheid to the another tracheid. So if you see the structure of these tracheids, it is an elongated with a tapering ends. It forms a ideal water conducting system in the plant. So for conduction of water, the water has to be run from one tracheid to the another. So it forms some sort of pipeline in the plant for the conduction of water from root to the shoot of the plant. Its walls are variously thickened for mechanical strength. It also gives the mechanical support or the strength to the plant. So the mechanical support here, the stem, it remains erect, straight because of these cells. Okay, so it gives the mechanical strength or support to the plant and plant organs. So tracheids are variously thickened for mechanical strength and also for the conduction of water from one tracheid to the another tracheid. So it forms some sort of pipeline in the plant body. So the various thickenings that has been found in the tracheids. So there are different types of tracheids. First one is the spiral trachea. So here we can see in this diagram spiral. Here the lignin is deposited in the form of a continuous spiral. So here we can see this is the spiral, a continuous spiral. The deposition of the lignin is in such a way that it forms a continuous spiral. So such type of tracheids are called as spiral tracheids. So these different types of tracheids has been made on the basis of thickening of the lignin that has been deposited on the cell wall. Here the lignin is deposited in the form of a continuous spiral. So such type of tracheids are spiral tracheids. Then the annular tracheids. So this word annular, it is in the form of a ring. So tracheid having thickening in the form of a ring. So here we can see clearly the rings. So that can make the annular tracheids. So their thickenings form a ring. So these are called as annular tracheids. Similar type of thickenings are also seen in the vessels of the xylem. So here a common diagram I was shared here for explaining the various thickenings of the lignin deposited on the cell wall. Here the spiral tracheids, the lignin is deposited in the form of a continuous spiral. Here annular tracheids having thickenings in the form of a ring. Then reticulate tracheid, so the thickenings form a network. So here we can see the reticulate tracheids. Here it forms a network. It looks like a network, so it is called as reticulate tracheid. Which looks like a network? The deposition of the lignin on the cell wall, it form a network. So such type of thickenings form a network. We referred it as reticulate tracheids. So here these are the reticulate tracheids. Some more types here also. The scalariform tracheid, the thickenings are laid in the form of a transverse bands. So here we can see these are the transverse horizontal bands that has been formed on the cell wall. So these thickenings are laid in the form of a transverse band. So such type of tracheids are scalariform tracheids. Next to this is the pitted trachyte. The entire wall is uniformly thickened, leaving small areas called as pits. So such type of dots or the pits that has been seen on the cell wall, where the entire wall is uniformly thickened, but the small areas are leaving. So such small areas, these are looks like dots or the pits. So such type of trachytes are known as the pitted trachytes. Okay, so here if you say the entire wall is uniformly thickened, but at some regions the wall is thin, so due to which it shows the pits or the dots on the trachytes. So such type of trachytes are pitted trachytes. So this is the pitted trachytes, where the entire wall is uniformly thickened and leaving the small areas called pits. Okay, next to this is the functions of the trachytes. So the main function of the xylem, it is the conduction of water and mineral salts. Similar type of function has been performed by the trachytes. It forms some sort of pipeline in the plant body. So the main function is the conduction of water and mineral salts. The thick and firm walls of the trachyte provide mechanical support. It gives the mechanical support because its wall are thick and firm. So it gives a mechanical support to the stem, leaf. Okay, the organs in which the fibers are absent, the trachyte plays an important role in providing support and giving mechanical strength. So those organs of the plant where the fibers are absent, that is the sclerenchyma that has been absent in the plant organ, these trachytes plays an important role by providing mechanical support, and also it gives a mechanical strength to the plant organ. So these are the functions of the trachytes: conduction of water and minerals, thick and firm wall of the trachyte provide mechanical support, and in case where the plant organs which are without fibers, these trachytes provide support and giving mechanical strength. Okay, so this is all about the trachytes. Now the fourth one part of the xylem, that is the vessels. It is the fourth component of the xylem. So vessels are like pipes. Here in diagram we can see these are the pipes having a large diameter. The trachytes differ from the vessels. These are short and having a large diameter, while trachytes are long, elongated, having a small diameter. I am not talking about it having a fine diameter. So fine diameter, it is a characteristic of the fibers. Here it having a small diameter. Here if you see the diameter of the vessels, the diameter it is large. So vessels are like pipes. I said these are the large pipes having a short length. They do not have any cross walls and they are lignified. So here we can see the deposition of the lignin. So it gives a different thickening pattern. Here these are the pitted vessels. Here we can see these areas where the cell wall is not much more thickened than the rest of the part of the vessels. So here we can see the small pits on the cell wall. Pits, these are मराठीमध्ये आपण त्याला खड्डे म्हणू शकतो, छोटे छोटे खड्डे दिसतात. सो दिस टाइप ऑफ वेसल्स आर द pitted vessels. Vessels are the characteristics of the angiosperm but are lacking in only few members of the family. For example, Trochodendraceae, Tetracendraceae, Winteraceae, and in some xerophytic, parasitic and aquatic genera. Where they have been lost or reduced in many monocotyledons, they are absent. Okay, so this is about the vessels. These are the pipes that do not have any cross walls and they are lignified, and vessels are the characteristics of the angiosperms. Okay, so this is all about the vessels. Now here if you see the cell wall deposition of the vessels, we found the different thickening pattern that we seen in the trachytes also. The secondary wall of the vessels develop in various ways. The thickenings are deposited in the form of a rings, so that we called as annular vessels. So we seen in these trachytes also annular, a rings has been seen on the cell wall. These rings are nothing but the deposition of the lignin. So the deposition of the lignin on the vessels takes place in the form of a rings. So such type of vessels are annular vessels. Continuous spiral, such type is the spiral vessels. Helicals, it form a helix. So it is a helical vessels. Sometimes it may be scalariform, reticulate or pitted. Okay. So these types we seen in the tracheids. The scalariform, pitted, here is the pitted vessels. These are the scalariform. These are forms a transverse bands on the cell wall. Here this is the reticulate vessels where it forms a network like deposition. So we call it as a reticulate vessel. Annular vessel, here the deposition is in the form of a ring. Spiral vessels, it is forms a continuous spiral. Okay. So this is all about the different thickening pattern or the thickenings that has been found on the cell wall of the vessel. So on the basis of which the similar types of vessels we seen, that is the annular vessels, spiral vessels, helical special, scalariform vessels, reticulate vessels, pitted vessels, like the tracheids. Okay. Now the function of the xylem. So xylem perform the main function, that is the conduction of water and mineral salt. It forms a conducting tissue, the chief supporting structure of the vascular plant. So xylem provide a mechanical support. It is the chief main supporting structure of the vascular plant. The storage of the food, starch, oil and other substances and other materials of such nature as crystals, gums and resins. So it function as a storage of food in the form of starch, oil and other substances and other materials of a nature such as crystals, gums and resins. So the main function of the xylem is the conduction of water and mineral salt, due to which xylem is a conducting tissue. It forms a conducting strands. The chief supporting structure of the vascular plant is also the xylem. It also functions for the storage of the food material and the other materials such as crystals, gums and resins that having a economic importance. So this is all about the functions of the xylem and the structure of xylem. So the xylem has been made up of xylem parenchyma, which is the living, only the living component in the xylem. Then xylem sclerenchyma, it is also called as xylem fibers or wood fibers. Then the tracheids, and last one is the vessels. So the most part of the xylem that has been made up of the tracheids. It is the basic component or the ground component of the xylem, which is tracheids, and next to this is the vessels, which having a large diameter than the tracheids, and these are having a short length. So this is all about the structure and function of the xylem. Next tissue is the phloem. So as you know that xylem and phloem, these are the complex tissue. So phloem perform the function of conduction of food material. So the food material that was synthesized in the leaf has been transported to the other part of the plant, for example stem and root, through the phloem. While xylem perform the function of water and mineral conduction from root to the shoot of the plant, because we know that plant can absorb water through their roots from the soil. So water that has been absorbed by the root has been transported to the various part of the plant through the xylem conducting strand. Here phloem perform the conduction of food material. It also perform the translocation of the food material from source, that is the leaf, and sinks, that is to the stem, root and other parts of the plant. So here we are dealing with the structure of phloem. So phloem, it is made up of 4 types of cells. These are sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. So one by one we are going to study the different components of the phloem. So here phloem is a complex living tissue. It is a living tissue, while xylem is a dead tissue. Only the xylem parenchyma is the only living component in the xylem. Here the phloem is a complex and living tissue, and it consists of the components such as sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma. So one by one we are going to study these components. The first one is the sieve tubes. So sieve tubes are made up of sieve cell. Sieve means a small pores has been seen. So such tubes we call it as sieve tubes. So sieve tubes are made up of sieve cells, and mature sieve tubes are anucleate without nucleus. They possesses perforated sieve plates. So here in this diagram we can see clearly the sieve tube. So this is a sieve tube that possesses the sieve areas where the small pores we can see. These are called as sieve. Okay. So sieve tubes are made up of sieve cells. So this is an individual sieve cell. Mature sieve tubes are anucleate. They possesses perforated sieve plates. The sieve tube type is not constant in families or sometimes even in genera. Although sieve tube of vines and herbs are usually of the highest type, and all types occur in woody and in herbaceous forms. So sieve tube type, it is not constant in the families and sometimes even in the generals. Sieve tubes of the vines and herbs are usually of the highest type, and all types of the sieve tubes are occur in the woody and in herbaceous forms of the plant. So sieve tubes, the main structure, main characteristic of the sieve tube, it is made up of the sieve cells. These are mature sieve tubes are anucleate. They possesses perforated sieve plates. So this is about the sieve tubes. Next to this is the companion cells. These are small isodiametric cells. So here we can see the companion cell. These are small isodiametric cells. They possesses prominent nuclei. One or more companion cells are associated with each sieve tube. So in this diagram we can see the sieve tube, sieve plate. Here we see the sieve plates. Here also the sieve plate. So this is the sieve tube. This one is the companion cell. This is the phloem, parenchyma. So all these structures has been seen in the one diagram. Now here we are studying the companion cell. These are isodiametric cell. These are small cell. They possesses prominent nuclei. One or more companion cells are associated with each sieve tube. Companion cells are specialized type of parenchyma cells which are closely associated in origin, position and function with sieve tube elements. These are specialized type of parenchyma cells which are closely associated in origin, position and function with the sieve tube elements. These cells occur in only in angiosperm. Companion cells do not contain starch. It do not contain the starch, and these cells occur only in angiosperm. Like the vessels are the characteristics of the angiosperm. Similarly, these companion cells occur only in the angiosperm. Companion cell do not contain starch, and they are specialized type of parenchyma cells. Okay. Then the phloem, parenchyma. So phloem typically contains parenchyma cells of type other than companion cells. So here we can see the phloem, parenchyma other than the companion cells. Various terms have been given to these cells on the basis of shape and probable function. Parenchyma may be lacking in the phloem in vascular bundles of, for example, in vascular bundles of many monocotyledons, where phloem, parenchyma may be lacking in the phloem. Okay, so this is about the phloem, parenchyma, which typically contain the parenchyma cells. So the name given, phloem, parenchyma. Okay, then phloem, sclerenchyma. So this phloem that has been made up of the fibers. So these cells are rare or absent in the phloem of living pteridophytes, and they are absent from this tissue in some gymnosperms and angiosperms. Okay, so these are rare and absent in phloem of living pteridophytes, but in many seed plants, fibers forming a prominent part of both the primary and secondary phloem and providing mechanical strength are known as bast fibers. So in the living pteridophytes, these phloem sclerenchyma, that is phloem fibers, are rare or absent, and in many seed plants it forms a prominent part of the both primary and secondary phloem. So what is this primary and secondary? The phloem that has been formed in the primary plant body by the activity of the meristematic tissue, that is the primary phloem. Secondary phloem, which is produced during the secondary growth of the plant, which is responsible for increasing the girth or diameter or thickness of the plant or plant organ. That phloem is a secondary phloem. So it provides the mechanical strength, are known as bast fibers. So sclerenchyma, which is mostly made up of the fibers, so it forms a prominent part in many seed plant of both primary and secondary phloem, and it gives the mechanical strength or mechanical support. So it is known as bast fibers. So this is about the phloem sclerenchyma, which is rare or absent in the phloem of living pteridophytes. Then the functions of the phloem. The chief function of the phloem is the conduction of elaborated foodstuff, that is the food material, both proteins and carbohydrates. Phloem transport organic food from leaves to the storage organ and growing point. So from source to the sink, translocation or the transport of the organic food material has been carried out by the phloem. So phloem perform a chief function of conduction of food material, both proteins and carbohydrates, that has been synthesized in the leaf. Phloem sclerenchyma, it is also called as bast fibers, in higher vascular plants provides mechanical strength support to the organs. Primary phloem, after secondary growth in an organ, stores secondary metabolites. So secondary metabolites has been stored in the phloem. So this is another one function of the phloem. So these are the functions of the phloem. The chief function is the conduction of food material, both proteins and carbohydrates. Second is the transport of or translocation of the organic food from source, that is leaves, to the other parts, that is the storage organ, growing parts, we also call it as sink. Next to the phloem sclerenchyma, which provides the mechanical support to the organs. The primary phloem, after secondary growth in an organ, stores secondary metabolites. So these are the functions of the phloem. So this is all for today. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.